Hi, my name is Brandon, and I'm an alcoholic and addict in recovery. And I'm really excited this morning because I just read something that really speaks to me and speaks to one of the most important lessons that I've learned in recovery, which is that action and doing things is far more important in life than the way I feel, my emotions, and what's going on in my head. So I'm going to read this section from A New Pair of Glasses by Chuck C. and then talk about this a little bit. In this section, he's talking specifically about love, but this expands out to anything we can think of. So let me read what he says, and then I'll share some thoughts about it. The two great needs of the individual are to love and to do. These are the great needs of the individual, to love and to do. A certain doctor called me one night at midnight and asked, "Chuck, what's your definition of love?" I said, "It's the same at 10 o'clock in the morning as it is at midnight. What the hell are you calling me at midnight for?" But he repeated, "What's your definition of love?" And I said, "You won't like it." Again he asked, "What is it?" I said, "Action." He said, "What do you mean, action?" I said, "Action. If you love somebody, you do things for them. You do things. You don't trade with them. You don't barter. There is no barter in love. You do things because you want to, with no strings on it at all. Marriage isn't a 50-50 thing. It isn't a 75-25 thing. Marriage is 1,000 to nothing. You don't barter. You don't barter with God, and you don't barter with each other. That's the simple, unadulterated truth. The motivation is love, and love is the fulfillment of the law. You do it because you love it, for free and for fun. It's a fantastic thing. So great words about marriage, great words about love, any kind of committed relationship. Great stuff there. But what I want to focus on is what he said about action. He talked about the definition of love being action. And that is something that's very different than what most of us think about when we think about love. When we think about love, we think about emotion. It's how I feel about someone else. We rarely think of love as, what do I do for others? Now expand that out to all the different emotions you have. Compassion. Compassion is not about what you feel toward other people. It's about what you do to other people, what you do for other people. And that's become incredibly important to me in recovery, because I have been most of my life so focused on the way I feel, what's going on in my head, what I'm thinking, how I think about other people, that I haven't really been that focused on, well, what do I do for other people? What do I do for myself? What do I do for the world around me? And as I've gotten further and further into recovery, focusing on these actions has become more and more important. And getting a little bit less involved in my emotional life and trying to control emotions, and my mental life and trying to control thoughts, and more in control of just what actions do I do throughout the day. As I focus more on my actions, I actually get to experience emotions. I get to experience thoughts rather than trying to control them. And that's a significant shift. And what happens at that point is that I start to be able to live in the moment. So not only does action help define my interaction with the world and help to define my love for others, my compassion for others, my compassion for myself, the action leads to my ability to actually live in the moment. And being like that helps me stay on a sober path and helps to prevent me from getting in a position where I feel any kind of urge to go back to using or drinking or anything like that. I think that one of the big lessons of recovery for me has been that we live this way by acting our way into recovery, into healthy living. We can't think our way into that. We can't feel our way into that. We have to act our way into that. One of the early things that I was told to do was get up and get in the mirror. And because I used to feel terrible about myself in the morning. I used to wake up with ugly fear in my heart. I used to wake up with contempt for myself and the things I'd done. And I was told, get up, and as soon as you get up, go to the mirror and smile at yourself and give yourself some positive affirmations. And I did that for a good 3 months until all of a sudden that action started leading my emotions and started leading my thoughts. And the ugly, nasty things that I was thinking about myself when I woke up in the morning and the ugly things I felt about myself started to change a little bit. Action leads to change, and that's why we have to focus on action as the expression of whatever values we hold important. And once we do that, not only do we start to be able to experience emotions and thoughts as they were meant to be experienced in the moment, but we begin to be able to live the rest of our lives that way as well. That's it for today. I'll be back here tomorrow with more. In the meantime, have a great one.